tenure here. So Tulsi Gabbard is a figure in American politics that I really do not enjoy talking about. And full disclaimer, I've been openly admitting this. At one point, I thought very highly of Tulsi Gabbard. There was a point in time where I thought, she was, first of all, I thought she was sincere. And I thought she was, calling out the war in a way that nobody else was. And I appreciated that about her. I didn't support her for president in 2020. I supported Bernie. But, before Bernie got in the race, and even after he initially got in the race, I was kind of wondering, well, is it going to be Bernie? Because, before Bernie got in, we were like, well, if Bernie doesn't get in, who might make the jump? And even right after Bernie got in, I think a lot of us were timid and we were like, gee, is 2016 going to happen all over again? And do we maybe need somebody who's going to be such a firebrand that they're not going to let it happen again? They're going to be so loud, and we're going to be so loud that they won't be able to cheat us a second time. A lot of us had that concern. Now, it turns out that was a valid concern. Look at what happened in 2020. So that was a valid concern. However, I at one point thought, gee, maybe the answer is Tulsi Gabbard. Boy, was I wrong on that one. Boy, was I wrong. Now, of course, I ended up supporting Bernie in 2020. I canvassed for Bernie. I voted for Bernie. But even at that point, I still thought highly of Tulsi. And I was even hoping she was going to be the VP pick. I was hoping for a Bernie-Tulsi ticket. And then things started slowly but surely changing, where Tulsi Gabbard, first she pivoted away from Medicare for all. Her healthcare plan was still a single payer plan, to be fully transparent and fair, but it was not one that would have worked the way Medicare for all would, because it would basically put people in a situation where they're paying twice, which I don't think it would have worked well. So I was not a fan of her healthcare plan. Then she started pivoting away from a lot of other things, and it's gotten to the point where it is now. And there was just cringe take after cringe take after cringe take on Twitter. And look, she started off as a DNC darling. Well, before then, she started off in a very conservative household where there was very, right-wing religious views and stuff like that. And she was all in for that. And then she kind of got away from that, and she was a DNC darling. And that didn't work out. That didn't catch for her. So she became a Bernie person. She stuck up for Bernie in 2016. That was cool. And I thought she was sincere. I thought she was the real deal. She was, had a lot of anti-imperialist things to say, and she apologized for her homophobic past. She had a 100% voting record with the HRC. I thought she was sincere. I really did. Then all of a sudden, she kind of pivoted away from the Bernie Sanders movement a little bit, and she started going into a more sort of just anti-war libertarian place. Okay, whatever. I don't agree with her as much as I thought I did, but, I respect her anti-imperialist views. That's cool. And then she kind of started going just full to the right with, her big Hail Mary in Congress wasn't to do anything about the wars or throw some kind of Hail Mary pass. Keep in mind, you're leaving Congress. You can just propose any bill you want. It's not going to get voted on. It's not going to move. You're just basically making a gesture. You're basically just making your statement to the establishment. This is what I want for a better world. What was Tulsi's big statement? Was it about war and peace? No, it was about transgender people in bathrooms. That was her big. That was her big hill to stand on. That was a transphobic bill. That was her big Hail Mary. And then, of course, there was just cringe take after cringe take after cringe take after that. And it got to the point where she, as of recently, campaigned for a bunch of Trump nominees. She campaigned for a bunch of MAGA candidates. And now she is formally joining Fox News. Let's pull up the headline, Colin. So Tulsi Gabbard joins Fox News as a paid contributor. So I guess it all. So this is next. Again, this is where she's at now. she has pretty much run the gamut of like political spaces in the United States. I thought about this earlier. It's like, well, where is she going to go next? Well, let's start with where she's at now. Let's dive into her new gig as a paid Fox News contributor. Former Democratic Representative Tulsi Gabbard has joined Fox News as a paid contributor. A representative for the conservative-leaning, that's generous. Conservative-leaning. They're just conservative-leaning. I mean, they're pretty balanced. They're just a little bit conservative-leaning. Wow. A representative for the fringe right-wing news network that pretty much doesn't exist anywhere else to the extent it does here. Cable channel confirmed Gabbard signed a deal Monday and will start appearing on its programs next week. A few hours after the report dropped, she guest hosted Tucker Carlson Tonight for at least the second time. This is from Mediaite, by the way. In recent months, Gabbard has made numerous appearances on Fox News and other right-wing outlets where she bashes her former Democratic colleagues on a myriad of subjects that include aid to Ukraine, big tech, and, quote, woke gender ideology. Wow. In October, she announced her departure from the Democratic Party, which by the way, we've talked about this stuff. I don't want to revisit it too much, but when somebody leaves the Democratic Party, usually I don't see that as a bad thing. Usually it's like, okay, yeah, we got to break up the duopoly. But in her case, it's like she's leaving the Democratic Party for all of just the most random reasons that make no sense. And it's just a total word salad about all of these nonsensical culture war, transphobic, homophobic scapegoats, basically. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just scapegoating marginalized people to further a right-wing agenda. And she has co-opted that language, and she is singing that tune, and it's gotten her to a place on Fox News, which goes. And for most people who have been following her, and especially those of us who at one point thought she was sincere, this kind of says to us, I guess this person was never sincere about anything. She changes like the wind. So, every now and again, people will be like, well, Tulsi had a good take on such and such and such. Even if that's the case, is she sincere about it? Who knows? Who the heck knows? Who knows where she'll be a year from now? Again, she's run the freaking gamut. We walked you through it. She's pretty much checked every lane. Now she's in just the Fox News Republican lane. Where's she going to go next? I mean, what in 2 years is Tulsi going to be like part of some anarchist commune somewhere? like where else can she go in the political spectrum of the United States? Where else can she go? Because she's pretty much just run the gamut here. So this is where she's at now. She's at Fox News. Wonder where she'll be next. Who knows? In the article, and we don't need to get into the whole thing, but apparently she did push back on Sean Hannity in some context. I have not seen it, so I can't comment on it. But it'll be interesting. And personally, I have no interest in what Tulsi Gabbard does at Fox News. I doubt it will be something that will be talked about much. It just really goes to show you, if someone transported back to February of 2020 and then just put me in a time machine and brought me back to today, and I'm looking around and Joe Biden is president, Tulsi Gabbard is a Fox News contributor. They'd be like, the pandemic. I'd be like, the what? They'd be like, oh, just wait. Things get weird. Things get weird. So, it's tough when, because again, all these things I'm saying about Tulsi Gabbard, I feel this way about most politicians, quite frankly. And she is technically not a politician anymore. But I think most politicians in the United States, you can say that about. What do they stand for? Who the heck knows? They stand for what the donors tell them to. It's just with Tulsi Gabbard, it hits a little harder because at one point, I thought this person was different. At one point, I thought Tulsi was a little bit better than the regular politician in the United States. And I was wrong. I was wrong about that. And for 2 years and counting now, I've been saying, yep, I was wrong. So, yeah, there you go. So she's going to be on Fox News now. You can catch her takes and see where they go. I mean, what if she runs the gamut? What if she goes back? What if somehow she goes back to? It's not going to happen. But that would be. I guess that's the racket in American politics. I mean, we are a contemporary society where people have an attention span of about 48 hours. It's like Gore Vidal called it, the United States of amnesia. So if you're just kind of looking to be, a figure in the political scene, which I think at the end of the day, that's all Tulsi Gabbard wants. I think she just wants a lane. Try them all out. DNC. Nope, that's not working. All right. Bernie camp. Nope, that's not. All right. How about this libertarian thing? No, that's not working. Well, MAGA. Let's try that out. Fox News. Okay, that's probably a lucrative gig. Let's see where this goes. I just don't know where can you go next? That's the $1 million question. Where could she possibly go next? As far as like the Overton window in the United States. Anyway, I guess we'll find out. She'll probably go somewhere next. Or maybe this is her final point. Maybe this is her true self. Maybe she's just always been this homophobic, transphobic, GOP embracing operative. Maybe that's where her passions lie. Who knows? I have no idea, honestly. I don't know, I don't know if anyone knows for sure if she is sincere about anything. So who knows? So there you have it. She'll be on Fox News, which, Fox News is a great channel to watch if you like having heartburn, I guess. Like, you certainly don't get news from Fox News. I mean, it's just like anger porn is basic. I mean, it seems like the most boring gig one could possibly have, just going on Fox News and just manufacturing anger about stuff that really is just hyperbolized fluff. They're just basically like, the problem is the immigrant, the problem is the transgender person, the problem is the brown person, the problem is everything except for the corporatocracy that keeps you down. We don't want you to know that part. And the entire corporate media does this. It's not just Fox News, by the way. Like, they all do this. Fox News just puts the very blunt, in-your-face, right-wing face on it. But it happens everywhere. The same thing happens at CNN. The same thing happens at MSNBC. So now Tulsi Gabbard is, is part of the Fox News core. So how neat.